refreshed and I made a new calendar appointment instead of clicking the link. I was like, come on now. Why can't things work for me? Anyway, I rebooted the computer since yesterday, so I'm missing all my windows. I'm trying to get them back in the right spots here.
And to do a hard reboot on mine. Feels like I never turned this thing off, but
I never turn any of mine off, usually.
yeah,
That's where you get trouble.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. That's where it starts to mess up on you.
All right. I've got the I've got a report for everybody. It is we're thinking about renaming it to the income harvester. Um,
Oh,
I just don't Jack and I've been talking in the background, like triple income, and it sounds good and all, but there's actually four income pillars. And quadruple income just doesn't sound right. It doesn't roll off the tongue. So income harvester sounds pretty good. I don't know what you think, Jack.
Yeah, I like that one. We might let them vote.
let them vote.
Let's see. What should we call it?
I like that one about the orbital. The word orbital is a little awkward, but I liked how they said, the trade orbits around the stock position
Yeah,
between
kind of, but then, if you're just doing the puts and you never get put the stock, I mean,
no orbit. Yeah, I don't know.
You guys know tomorrow we're launching a manned mission into orbit to go around the moon.
Really?
Yeah, first time in like 50 or 60 years.
yeah,
Who's
we're
doing that?
trying. We're trying, but I don't know.
Why,
NASA's doing it.
why do they want to do that now? They already know what's on the other side of the moon.
They're doing like a launch, like a slingshot, and then they're wrapping around the moon and coming back.
That's
So
the Artemis thing, right?
yeah, it's Artemis. Yeah, exactly right.
Krispy Kreme has a special Artemis donut.
Really?
See how much nerdy I am? I even know about the donut.
That's crazy. That is kind of crazy. I did not know they had a special donut. Is it going to look like the moon or something?
It's like the logo for the patch for the mission or
Okay,
something.
that's neat.
Let me see if I can find it.
Yeah.
There it is. Yeah. Let me share my screen.
Yeah, you might want to hit them with the disclaimer first. Up to you though.
Not for donuts.
Not for I guess that's true. Unless somebody goes out there and buys Krispy Kreme stock because of this.
We can talk about the disclaimer in a second. I'm not talking about buying stock, just donuts. Look at those beautiful things right there. The Artemis 2
Actually,
donut.
actually looks really good.
It's like Oreos and I don't know what blue icing tastes like, but
Icing with blue food coloring.
I'm getting heartburn just looking at that.
and look at these beautiful Easter.
Stop. Actually, let's get with the disclaimer. I'm gonna put you guys into orbit here if you don't quit playing games. Let's go.
Watching this show may cause you to get heartburn. All trading, all trading involves a substantial risk of loss. Past performance not necessarily indicative of future results. This presentation intended to be informational, educational, fun, entertaining. Hope you're entertained. It's what it is not, though, is not a recommendation to be buying or selling any financial instrument, including stocks, options, bonds, forex, futures, cryptos, treasuries. If you desire somebody to tell you what to do, there's people for that you can hire. It's not Jack or I or Blake. We're not telling you what to do. If you need somebody, there's people you hire, but they don't always have your best financial interest in mind. I tell you, it's a sad, sad world we live in, but most of the time they're just trying to make some of your money into some of their money, and
Mhm.
got to be careful about there. Got to be
Right.
careful out there. Gold, look at that. Dun, dun, dun.
What did gold do today? Did it bounce finally?
It's just moving up just barely. I mean, it's not even back, only taking about a week back.
Mm,
I would be very careful. Um,
yeah.
there's a lot of hype around gold being done. This was only one, two, three. We're working on a four. We're probably going to do a five.
Yeah,
to complete
that's what I
the
think.
absolutely beautiful correction.
Now C is the liftoff point.
C's the bottom, like it potentially the bottom, but the dip can keep dipping, as you know, Jack. Don't catch knives.
No, no.
But this 3 waves down with this, even though it looks like a capitulation candle, I'll be very, 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 very careful here.
Of buying.
Yeah, of getting bullish on gold. I'll be very careful. I'm just
Be
saying.
very careful on everything. Pull up QQQ. This
Yeah,
is all you need to see, folks.
Look at
yep.
that thing.
Can you lay my lines on there?
Sure thing, baby.
All right. Like me. All right, folks. So when we got this here below the red line, there is no more support. That's why it can drop an abnormal amount like it has there. Look at those gap down bars. That's a sign of no support at any place. Just an idea. Yeah, across there, it's going way lower. Yeah, that blue line crosses over that red line. Get
You
out there.
told me. You told me we changed these colors the other day. The green is supposed to be the fast one, right?
Yeah, green on top.
Yeah.
Normal market, blue in the middle, intermediate term.
Yeah, they reversed themselves. I fixed that the other day, so they definitely did change themselves back there.
Simple warning. Now, you know what you're going to get in a market like this is you're going to get some huge upside runs, but there's only resistance ahead, right? There's resistance right there at the red line, green line, and blue line. And if the green crosses below the red, I know it's super simple, but it's highly accurate, then we're going a lot lower. But we can get some bounces in here. We just can't get anything going until it reverses.
See, I like to pop up to a higher time frame and look at how far might we go. And there's your next support, be all the way down at 515 area. And then if you went up to a weekly chart, we're all the way down to 465. And see, I find this interesting. Yours last year did not hit the weekly right there.
No,
It did hit the 3-day right there and bounced.
I use just daily.
Yeah, I know you just use daily. I just I like to on my roadmap line when we break below the daily, which we did last year and we just did this year. This looks eerily the same to me, just a little bit longer on the wind up here.
Now, that being Liberation Day, could you still see a correction that severe in here?
Absolutely, we could get something that deep. Now, see on the 3-day, we went on through, and then for mine, we actually bounced right off of the weekly chart here, the weekly roadmap line.
Now, do you think if it doesn't bounce off of there, let's say it gets down there to that 490, if it doesn't bounce, does it go lower? Or how do you read it?
And then we have the monthly, and we haven't been down to the monthly since back here in like 09. I could get pretty nasty. So
How's that dollar looking? You think that the dollar driving up higher is helping this sell off, or what are your thoughts on that?
So I was talking about we've talked about that on and off a few times here. When the dollar pushes higher, it does put down pressure on stocks and down pressure on gold and down pressure on all sorts of things. And when the dollar bleeds out a little bit like it is today, we get a little bit of bounce. Now, it's not one for one either. If you notice, we were higher right over here than we were, the last few days, but we've been lower on the stock market as we push this up. So the red, it's not for one. Like just because we have a red day in the dollar doesn't mean we're equally getting money flowing back into the market, into the broader markets or risk on assets. So you got to be careful reading into this too much. People think they're correlated, but they're only kind of loosely correlated. I like to say correlated when they're correlated, not when they're not.
Right.
because it's not a universal correlation. It's kind of like gold being a hedge for the markets in chaos. Like it works when it works, but it seems like it doesn't most of the time.
It didn't work this time.
I mean, like this sell-off is, well, it's like it's hard to say didn't work this time because we've had chop in the market since October.
Right.
It worked initially, and now it's not. And it's you know, it's just difficult. And when you lay over something like SPY, and we pull these over, SPY down 6%, gold's up 15% since back here at Halloween when we kind of topped out in the SPY. You could lay on QQQ also. QQQ down 10% while gold's up 17%, relatively speaking. So what was, now right in here, when S&P and NASDAQ were actually up, like right at break even from October highs, right in there in January, right at the end of January, gold was actually up like 42%. But then as S&P and NASDAQ have pulled back, gold has also pulled back. So not a hedge, as you say, from that peak we had there into January. So it's one of those difficult, everybody gets caught in these, like, I call them market idioms. It's things that get parroted over and over and over. Mainstream media says it all the time. You hear other traders parrot it. You hear other gurus parrot it. Like gold's the safe haven, this, that, and the other. You see it in reports, you see it in places, but just use your freaking eyeballs and look at the chart here. That doesn't protect you against jack diddly squat.
Nothing.
Yeah.
I bet's no hedge. Bitcoin's not a hedge. Crypto's not a hedge. Gold's not a hedge. It's a complex world we're living in.
I think everything kind of the cheese stands alone. There's money that flows back and forth, but every chart on its own, and it tells you where it's going. There's not so much, there are pairs of opportunities, but they work for a while and then they break down. And there's no universals in the market except that we're all probably going to pay tax to the U.S. government some way, somehow.
No ironclad correlations anymore.
And the only thing I know of that is still 98% correlated is global liquidity to the performance of the S&P. And other than that, I don't know of anything else. And getting global liquidity is difficult. So it's not just a chart you pull up.
So Trump is going into Iran to take all their uranium. What's the price of uranium?
I'm not even sure how you figure that.
He's an old school cat, man. Like the term spoils of war, that's gone out in the last 100 years. He wants to bring it back.
Let's see. Are there uranium?
Isn't that like going and taking their stuff? Their gold, their oil, and their uranium.
That's like,
What the hell's going on?
uranium is down, actually.
Yeah. Oh, up today, good, but yeah, down.
I was looking for let's see if there's any uranium futures.
I don't know. Did he twerk? Did Trump twerk he was going to take the uranium?
He's said that. He said that several times. He's going to put boots on the ground and go take all the enriched uranium. Although I saw that I saw a joke. He won't put boots on the ground. He'll issue Crocs to all the soldiers so there aren't boots.
That's funny.
Boom, boom.
I want to see boots on the ground.
All right.
But you can't steal their uranium if you don't put boots on the ground because a drone can't pick up uranium.
I bet it could.
You gotta dig it out, man. You gotta find it.
You need one of those robot dogs, man.
Yeah, sniffing out uranium.
What do you think today, Jack?
I think this is a little head fake lift. across the board. I'm looking at my watch list. Maybe you are. I see a lot of green. Yeah. Uh,
And Goldman Sachs said this was not a durable low to be careful.
what does that mean?
They're
Low. They're using words I can't figure out.
uh,
Durable. Oh, what does that mean?
dur means it's not very solid. It's not durable. If we retested it, it might give way.
I should just say that then.
Yeah,
Durable is it?
that's what they issue to their high net worth clients.
Durable low. This isn't a durable low, Sam. Okay, Joe. I don't know what that means.
Yeah, I mean, come on, everybody.
A durable low. I don't believe it either. I'll tell you, some of these prices, look at AVGO. That's a little bit shocking when you think that this thing was going to hang out at 400. That's 100 points off,
Oh,
right?
yeah, that's 20. I mean, that's 30. Whew, it's going to be what, 30% down?
Big downer.
30%. Ouch.
Yeah, so it's due for a little move, but $7.40 isn't the kind of move. That should just be the start. But that dip below, I think LRCX took a big dip.
Now I know
Uh,
you've been playing this one. Are you playing this one for Thursday?
yeah, I'm playing it for Thursday. Let's see, what does it look like? What's the volume look like? Because my alert went out. I think Jordan sent it out a little while ago. Let's see if the chart can show you which strikes I picked.
Let's see. Oh, dun, 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 dun. It's all
Uh,
pretty balanced. Oh, this is open interest, not volume. Let's go back to volume. Ah, there it is. 315, 317. I can find Jack's play. He's,
oh
he's
God,
dying. He's dying over there.
what's the net credit? See, I'm getting dimed out here. I mean, sheesh. What's the yeah.
We got 23 right now.
I think I went for the yeah. Well, there you have it, folks.
There's Jack's play. It shows up in the volume.
25 cents on a 2.5 wide is a little over 10% net credit for the market's closed Friday, folks. So
So we've
it's
got
all
we've got
days.
today, tomorrow, Thursday, and that's it.
That's it. And the challenge for me is, I publicly say that I can pull this off in any market condition and any market condition relative to days closed, right? Sometimes there might be a day and a half closed in a market in a week, but still by going in on Tuesday, I can get the job done.
It's interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. Who's the whale though? Come on, reveal yourself.
And now the numbers are ticking up faster too. Another 500 or 600 contracts just went through.
This is what makes me think somebody is reselling this pick because unless I got an audience this big, which I don't think, other than the one whale, it looks like somebody's reselling this and a bigger piece of the public is jumping in on it. What's the time? Yeah, see? Yeah, so that's what I'm saying.
Let's see. We've
Well,
got
my trade actually got done a little bit later today than normal. Normal, it's right on the 10:30, close as possible. Mine was later today, and then we see this happen.
yeah, this started about 11, just right as we started the show here. It really started picking up 11:24, 11:25, 11:26. It's been pretty, we're just starting to fade the volume, but it's been pretty constant.
So would you say that it's an accurate statement to say just go look at a couple of stocks and do the credit spread with the most open interest?
I wouldn't do that, but I wouldn't.
I would,
I've gotten burned doing that before.
I wouldn't do that either. That sounds like a very dangerous approach.
But
There's so
int-
many great credit spreads in here now because the market really is looking for maybe a snapback. But these stocks, when you look at AVGO and NVIDIA and just an endless list of tech stocks that you can sell bear call spreads on, it's ridiculous right now. These things cannot get out of their own way. They can't get going. So right now, I think this is bear call heaven.
Golly, somebody 1,000 contracts in 1 minute right there.
That's pretty impressive, man. And the only other thing I could think is I know there's a couple of institutional guys that are in my client database, and they wouldn't tell me it's them, and it might
Oh
not
yeah.
might be like a small firm. Well, it doesn't matter. I just hope they're doing good. I don't want anybody reselling the picks. That's not cool. But if it's a large fund, go ahead, knock yourself out.
So what was that? The
Trade.
317.50. Let's see.
Big
Which
one
I'm
at
at.
1253.15 too.
Would you see if I can find it in the flow? Doesn't show up in the flow at all. It's crazy. It's getting filtered out.
It's nutty.
Well, here's the real-time options flow. Big orders. We're just not seeing any big flow at all.
Yeah, my puts are good. I'm doing all kind of puts on AVGO, LRCX, WDC. You can get deep out of the money on these. And at this price, if I get put them now, man, I'll take them. Yeah, I got to play another stock next week, Mike says, to see if they follow me. I know the one guy does, but I don't know about all these other dudes now.
315, 317. Yeah, we're just not. Those strikes aren't coming up at all. Either one. That's interesting though. It probably doesn't even show up on an unusual flow because also it's since you do this almost every week, it's not really unusual flow.
I haven't not done it in a week since I can remember.
Yeah, I'm just like I was saying, it's not really. It wouldn't show up on an unusual flow scanner.
It's just so out of balance right at those strikes when you look at it on Tasty Trade. Like there's no reason for it. When you look at the Tasty Trade there and you look at that right there, there's no reason for that.
Oh, that kind of blows away any other strikes, any other open interest. I mean,
But what would be the reasoning if you were looking for that and you didn't know we were doing this and you were, Jeffrey, you didn't know me. When you looked at that, what would you think?
oh, if I looked at that, I'd be like, either I was anytime I see that where there's two stacked, two almost equal stacked in the volume, I'm almost, somebody's going a little more aggressively even. Like that's usually spreads when they're almost balanced between two and it's bigger numbers than anything else on here. It's almost always a spread, but is it a call spread or a debit spread? I mean, is a credit spread or a debit spread? I don't know. That's the thing you don't know. And you can't tell by looking at the chart either. Like when we look at the options chart, are they selling that or are they buying it?
Yeah, I don't think they're buying it because they'd be getting smoked like a.
But it's for each option though, like are they selling that one or are they buying that one? You can't
Yeah, you
like
can't.
those two option charts look exactly the same. You can't tell. So that's always the problem with option flow is
It doesn't tell the complete story. You can kind of read into it things that are not there. I've never used option flow myself. The only time I've ever done it is with Lance and his little scanner. That thing's fun as hell to play. But
yeah.
you know, here I just like to lay on it hard. And right now is just such a great time. I don't see I think it's almost impossible for this thing to get to 315 or over 317.50 AVGO in my mind. Just the way I look at it, the technical analysis I lay on it, the lens I'm looking at it, it just can't not get going. And so the 312.50 and the 315, the 315 and 317.50, all these spreads in here are just unbelievable.
Yeah, people say that, oh, like there's a giant call spread on or there's a giant call on ASTS, somebody must know something. But in my experience, there's people with tons of money that just screw around with this stuff. Some people out there, $200,000 is like us playing with a couple $100.
That's the guy in Aspen, yeah, that I talk to almost every day. mean, he throws around $500,000 like with zero, uh,
he gives
zero
no he gives no ducks, huh?
100% gut. And his gut is it's big, but it's not right. And he goes off his gut all the time, man. I mean, everything all the time, crazy. And he's kind of, he lost his ass out there on AVGO, and he knew I was making it, but yeah, he's pretty much wrong. I use him kind of as a barometer, right? These guys
Yeah.
that very wealthy from doing something else,
Yeah.
and they like to play big in the stock market.
Well, it's kind of like unlimited gambling, you can just
But it is.
you can place your bet and see, like, for gamblers the stock market is it's a play. This is why I'm always like, people ask me if I do betting and gambling. I'm like, no, because I know I'm used to being right in the markets, and I'll probably take that to betting, and then it's just not going to work for me because there's no edge really in most betting.
So you said you're mostly right in the market, which you are. And I asked him one time, why do you do this like crazy stuff he does? And he says, to see if I'm right. He wants to know if he's smarter, than the stock market. Now, you don't get to be a billionaire without being smart unless you inherited it. He's one of the smartest guys I've ever met. But the logic he applies to the world does not apply to the stock market, right?
Yeah.
Guys that tried shorting Tesla, one of my buddies over here, he 2 or 3 times he blew up his entire account trying to short Tesla on the way up because, in his words, it made no sense. No shit, it doesn't ever make. You think of it that way, you're going to get killed. Like the valuation's too high. Okay, so it is. So what? Don't short it as it's going higher. But some of these guys, you can't argue with them.
Yeah, see, like somebody put $1 million right there, but when you look at it, it's only 100 contracts.
Yeah. That's the
It,
other thing. So he's doing it, but he's out pretty much by the next day or that same day. And it's just something to do, but he just happens to be doing it big. So when you look at it, you shouldn't read into it that he knows something because he doesn't know anything. He just has a lot of money to play with in the morning, and then he gets bored and goes to lunch and quits for the day.
Something happened with our poll.
The harvest loop.
The harvest loop.
Yeah, this is one of the best times I've ever seen in my life to do credit spreads.
Anyway, that's interesting that none of your, even though your trade is like blowing up the volume today, it doesn't show up on an unusual option scanner at all.
I wonder if it's because of the two strikes instead of just one that would stand out.
But even the one, like even just one, it should show up. I mean, people are pushing lots of 1,000. That certainly should show up in here, but it's just not.
Yeah. I mean, I think some of these guys look at this as like a no risk trade, thinking like there's no way AVGO can get up there. It can, but I don't think it's gonna. But I think that's where the high conviction is that there's so much resistance on top of these tech stocks that between now and 2 days, you think in 2 days, man. I wonder, do you think if Trump said the war's over, the market would rally like crazy?
Uh, I don't know if it matters.
Yeah,
I don't.
think it's ignoring that. That's what I'm saying. I don't really see any catalyst that's going to lift this stuff out of the mud. So I have no problem going bigger than normal on some of these credit spreads.
And there was a play. Somebody bought this. Somebody bought 2,500 of the 280 puts on AVGO.
What'd that cost them? What'd they pay for that?
Paid 235,000. So not giant money, but
Giant money.
it's pushing a lot of contracts.
Yeah. And it's not hedged. So why buy the 280 put when you can spend less and get a bigger bang? Must be part of another strategy.
It was a block. It was a block purchase. One order, 2,500.
So this is what I think, one of the reasons I don't mess around with this is because to me, it's just a gigantic rabbit hole that you can go down and never get out of trying to make sense of it. I really don't see, options, unusual options flow as never gives me any conviction.
it never tells me like what's the whole story. Like you can't. Like I've followed this stuff as long as I've been in options because when I first got into options, people were telling me that the volume on certain strikes tells you that's all the story you need to know. Here you can see that 2,500 contracts, 280 for 6 days out, right there. I mean that's
I don't think anybody knows
$20 below the money right there.
I think he's just making a play based on his own conviction. I don't
Now
think
it says it traded closer to the bid, so maybe that's somebody just trying to bring in $200,000 in
you
a
think
week.
he dropped that far. The only thing, when I look at Lance's scanner, I think somebody knows something because, we were playing Rocket Lab down at like $12 and $9. And down there, some of these companies aren't really well known. And somebody will find out something on a smaller company that maybe not everybody knows. And when I see unusual options flow on that kind of junk, especially when they're willing to pay over the ask, that gets my attention on that littler, obscure stuff. But on something like AVGO, that guy with the 280 put, he doesn't know anything anybody else knows. He just did a trade.
That's like if you wanted to see the whales, these are all, $1 million orders
Yeah,
going through today.
my attention. A $2 million order,
There's a $4 million order,
block especially, but he says, I want it all. Yeah, that's something. What? I don't know, but that tells you something.
and they're playing out to January 27 with calls right there, putting $4 million on it.
Damn. See, that's not a fund that has customers because they'd have a lot of explaining to do if that didn't work. So if that fund does have customers, they're all high net worth dudes that are willing to take the risk because he's risking that the whole thing evaporates when you're buying options like that.
And that was
4 million bucks up in smoke.
I see. What's interesting though, that they bought the 100 strike right there. Actually, that may have been selling because it says it traded at the bid. $4
Well,
million
block,
at the
you can
100 strike.
make a bid for the block. The block order is the bid. So
See,
he bought him on his bid.
115.27. Let's go look at that. Like this is interesting to me. I mean, Jack was a market maker, everybody, if you didn't know. 115.27. 290 days from now. 100 strike. There it is. 1,000 contracts they push. That's Nancy Pelosi trade right there.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to bring that up. Why so deep in the money on a call?
But look at that. At the same time, 9,000 puts.
And that makes no sense.
Let's see what that
He'd have real money on his hands if AVGO went below 100, but
9,000 puts. That looks like they were selling the puts because now this is where it tells me that they were selling puts because look at the price go as they push more volume.
yeah, they're sellers.
That's selling those puts right there.
Saying you could put it to me at 100. Wonder why so far out. Maybe that's the only time he could get the cheese.
And then let's check at the volume here. That does look like selling because the price dropped here too. It's weird.
Well, the market temporarily.
100 block, 100 block, 300 block, 300 block, 200 block, and a 75 block. I don't know why you would sell the calls and sell the puts. Like that's weird.
Yeah, I can't
because you would be guaranteed to get called away at 100.
Yeah, definitely. That is a weird trade. The
Of course, maybe
rabbit hole that I prefer to stay away from is right there, folks.
it's like, how do you read into that trade? 9,000 over here and 1,000 over here at 100 when AVGO is trading at 300.
Yep, Pelosi likes to get those deep in the money.
She usually likes to buy that kind of stuff, but the way that price bled off, it looked like it's selling though. Because every block went through with a lower price, basically. That one pushed it down to fill it, and pushing down, pushing down, pushing down, pushing down, pushing down. It's interesting. I don't know. So Jack's trade, in case anybody can't find it, can't see it, you didn't subscribe to. Look at that. We've almost doubled the contracts. Oh man.
Oh, there you have it.
So the trade is right there. Still going for the same price too.
It's pretty fat.
I got one. We'll see what happens.
You putting one on?
I got one right there,
I
filled.
think 312.50, 315. That might give you a little more net
I don't need more net credit. I'm okay. I'd rather be safer than sorry. I like the higher probabilities.
credit.
I mean, right now it's only 87% right there.
80,
How long? 86% now. This is the probability of profit, POP. So I'm usually playing in the 99.7 percentile.
this is risky for you. It's only 86%.
That's what I'm saying. Like I can only do one, and I gotta stay further away from the money. I
That's
mean,
if you, yeah, the 315, 317.50 is good.
Jay, we joke about this, but this is my profit and loss this year
I
in
like
this
it.
account. It's right now a $63,000 account. I'm up $30,000 this year, so almost 50, almost doubled the account right there.
In 1 quarter.
Yeah, in just 3 months.
I like it.
So being when I'd say I like to be more conservative, it works for me. And you can see there's all the numbers right there. How much of it's cash? Just about all of it.
I like your approach. I get too aggressive. I mean, I do. If you look at my trading over the years, we just looked at 2025 with the accountant. It's just way too aggressive.
Yeah. And I mean,
I
I
got to,
try to sit on my hands and try to be disciplined and it's what happens when I don't do that is this right here. I take a hit. I'm coming up off the bottom, but I did take a hit.
but we could talk about being aggressive all day long. I think as traders, you have to be. You talked about when you let your foot off the gas months ago
Yeah.
or that jump in Rocket Lab, and you needed to be more aggressive. And
Yeah,
right,
I think I got a little full of myself again. You know what? I talked about that psychology where I usually take a big loss after I get a nice big fat gain, and I let the gas off right there for a couple months. I was getting those nice big, like it wasn't a single big day of gain, but I was starting to go exponential, and I was getting more and more full of myself, arrogant, and then I got humbled. That's what happened. I mean, it's very clear in the chart right there. But at the same time, I was doing the same kind of trades in this account parallel, but just stuck to my guns and stuck to the risk profile over here. Why would I do it different in two different accounts? I don't know. Can't explain it all the time. So it's trader psychology. I fight with this stuff. I know everybody out there fights with this stuff. Like, how do you be more aggressive? How do you get more money? How do you get yourself out of the financial situation you're in if you want a different financial situation.
Yeah, for me, and I don't need to do it. That's the other thing. Like, you don't need to
I've seen your account size. You could just be nice and easy, and you'd be living
that.
fat,
It's
fishing
just
on the beach.
that ain't even the whole thing. It's just my nature is that, and that's what worked for me as a trader when I ran my own fund. I was by far the most aggressive guy in the room, not even close. Um, and it paid off for me. Other people couldn't do it. Other traders in there just didn't have the call it guts, whatever, to do some of the trades I did. But we had such a generous payout. I just felt like I had to do it. Well, and it's burned me. I told the story of shorting that stock that it seems like everybody knew I was short and they pushed it up in my face. I took a huge loss. It did not stop me from being aggressive. That stopped me from being reckless. That's all that did. So that's just my style in every way, shape, and form, whether it's snowboarding or anything, it's aggressive.
Skateboarding with the grandkids.
That's it. It's aggressive. Whatever it is, I got to do it. I only know one way.
Speaking of which, how's your ankle back all mended up yet?
It's pretty good. I've been doing the squat. I'm back to doing squats and getting it back. It's a little swolled up, but yeah, thanks. It's good. Gonna be fine.
Good to hear. Good to hear. All right, everybody. So I thought we'd talk about spreads just a little bit. Why spreads? Why? I did one yesterday on cues, and when I
Inside, what kind of credit, debit, up, down,
so have you ever heard the term turnaround Tuesday?
negative?
It's a market idiom. They talk about turnaround Tuesday. I've heard this for years. We were pushing down so hard into the close yesterday that I thought we might get a bounce, a
A
little
gut
bounce.
gut thought or
It's just one of those, like, we're pushing down so hard here on Monday. I think we'll get a little bounce on Tuesday. Just a turnaround Tuesday, a little bit of bounce. And this is a post-mortem type conversation here because this trade already played out. It already cashed out. I'm out. But yesterday, when we were sitting down here, let's get in a perspective here. There's where we were. Like, I put this on at 3 o'clock yesterday. So 3 o'clock is right in here. We're at 550, 550, just below 558. And then we start pushing down right after I put the trade on. So I put the trade on right here. I was expecting 3 to 5 point bounce, right, from this level. And we kind of got it, right? But yesterday, think about this. What would make you think that was going to bounce? We have been down, freaking alerts. We were down on Thursday, we were down on Friday, and we're down on Monday. And we're actually down, actually this was I think too on Wednesday. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Monday, 4 days in a row, we've been pushing down. This was getting more aggressively. I just had a hunch that turnaround Tuesday would happen after 4 big down days. I mean, that was just a constant bleed off, right? Like,
That's called the secret life of stocks. And when I color coded Trend Point, I had it specifically color coded so it would show me that, and I believe this, stocks go 3 to 5 days in the same direction, then do a little reverse, then continue the same direction. So when I see 3 or 4 straight down days in a row, you know it's coming. A little
and see, you had that right there too, like down day, down day, down day, bounce,
3 to 5 in a row, then
chop a little bit, then down day, down day, down day, down day, down day, pop.
overdue for one.
And so this was just, me being in the market late in the day yesterday. I looked at that 560, 563. Now, that was on the call side. 560, we can actually look at this right here. Somebody was like, earlier, somebody was like, well, why didn't you just buy a call? And I was like, that was too expensive. I mean, you said that right out. You just like came right out of your mouth. Um, yesterday at 3 o'clock, March 30th, 3 o'clock, that thing was, upwards of $3, 250, $3. And I wasn't 100% certain that we'd get a bounce. We could have gone another day down.
And that's the advantage of the spread is that you can get into the trade you wanted to get in for a fraction of the cost.
And so I looked at that spread, and it was basically $1.05. We can see it right there on my fill. It cost me $1.05 to get in, a $3 wide. So I had my max risk was $105. My max gain was 185 or 100, well, $195, right? $3 minus $1.05 leaves $1.95 left. So max gain was $1.95. That was basically 185% gain. And I got out today for $2.50, which was 138% gain.
Beautiful. When you buy that debit spread, right after you get filled, do you put your good till cancel to sell it at a higher price, or do you wait and see what happens?
I usually pick a price that I want to get out and put it on right away, just in case in the post hours or whatever, something pops and gets me out. Because these do trade for like an extra 15, 20 minutes or whatever after the close.
Do you pick a percentage over your entry as your
Uh,
exit? You
Yep.
just
For that one, I went 100% plus a little cheese to pay for the commissions and stuff.
Mhm.
That's usually what I do. Sometimes I'll go 50%, like especially on debit spreads. A lot of times I'll do 50% like you do. A lot of times on credit spreads, I'll do 50%.
Mhm.
Just, and these are short term, just guessing at market direction. And this is my kind of trade. See if I'm right. Like you were talking about your guy in Aspen. I want to see if I'm right.
Yeah.
So I put $100 on it and made 138%.
Beautiful. That's exactly what he does. He's bored. He does not work, right? So it's something for him to do. And yeah, you just got to not always take the advice of the guys like that. He's doing it more for fun. I'm doing it for money.
I wanted to see if I was right.
Yeah.
And it was closer to a coin flip to me. Like if you had asked me the probability of it yesterday at the close, probably would have said 50-50. That's why I put $100 on it, not $1,000 on it.
How much your trades do you want to do just to see if you're right?
I do a lot less now than I used to. I used to do a lot. I
Because
used to
you
do a lot.
prove to you, right? That's
Yeah.
true. The older you get at this, the only time I do it is really on a short, like with Rigetti or silver or stuff you've seen me do, is I know when I see that chart like that it's coming down and I just want to be right.
Yeah.
Lingo, same thing.
And that's, but it worked out for me right there. And had I, stayed in it, it's still, I had sold that one. So buy it back and then sell this one to close. Oops. So delete leg and sell that one to close. It's worth more now than where I closed it. So, maybe I could have written it all the way out, but there's no guarantee that we hold this up today either. We could bleed it back down.
I never look at that. Once I'm out, I'm out. I never, and I never sell at the top.
Yeah, I don't play shoulda, coulda, woulda. Somebody's like, well, shouldn't you have gone a call because it would have paid, woulda, shoulda, shouldn't you, shoulda,
shouldn't you
would
have
have paid more? And, couldn't you have done that? Shoulda, coulda, woulda. And it's like, I made the right decision at the time because I was only 50-50 on a bounce. And sure, the thing bounced more than I thought it would. We bounced 9 instead of 5. But if we'd only bounced 5, would have just barely been at the money.
Bottom line in this game is taking a profit is the best part about trading.
Yeah. And I'm out. I made 138% gain on a little bounce in the market, and
Prove you were right.
and there you go.
Every now and then you got to do it just to keep your sword sharp and prove to yourself you still know what's going on, right?
Yeah.
Validates your thinking process.
Now that limited my risk to a smaller amount than if I had bought a call.
Yeah, what would that have cost? Let's show them the math. How much you saved.
You
Now,
know,
because I say this because I don't know of a reason why you would just buy a straight up call. I don't know that reason. I mean, you can maybe make more. People say the debit spread caps how much you can make, but so what if you can make 200 or 300%? So what if it's capped?
yeah, yeah, yeah. You're going to be capped on a short-term call anyway. You know, this was only a 1 day call yesterday,
So
and
it would
it
cost you.
it, it was trading for 200. Let's just call it 265 yesterday when I got in. We could look at my actual fills if we wanted to, but roughly $265, and that's what we were just looking at on the chart, like 262, 263, 45, somewhere in there. So $265. I got in for $1.05. So I already reduced the cost.
Number one. Number two, it doesn't have to move as much as if you buy a straight call. That's, I don't know which advantage is better, the fact that you cut the price in half or the fact that you set yourself to make a great profit.
Well, I spent 40% as much to get into that trade. So my risk was down 60% over just buying a straight call on a trade that I'm 50-50 on. And if we look at the same kind of trade out to tomorrow, it was trading at 558. So basically we're trading at 568. And it would have been like buying this right here, buying a 570 call or maybe buying a 571 call. So if we're buying that right there, look at the probability of profit, 30%.
And
Probability of profit, 32%.
QQQ has to move a little bit more buying up a straight call.
And it would have to pop all the way up in here. It's gonna have to go up to 573 basically to even be slightly in the money. And to double it to get 138%, we've got to go up to 576 at least. That's a big freaking move.
In this market.
That's like, looking at back at the options I played. Yeah, that 570 or the 560 is now $9. So let me, I just closed the calculator. That was smooth move, XX. So $9, 900 divided by 265 minus 1. That's 200, basically 240%. I made 138%. That's not bad. I didn't know it was going to bounce this big. If it had only bounced as big as I thought it might, right down in this 64, 65 area, then I probably would have, maybe only been up 100%. I feel like it was a smarter play.
Yeah.
Less risk,
I like
easier to make money because it didn't have to move as far.
all of it. All of it. Way. The only reason I think people buy a straight up call is they don't understand or know how to do the debit spread. It's just a matter of education.
And so,
Like Tesla, man, I just yeah, there's a directional trade. It's the best. It even beat me going straight up on a short. I shorted Rigetti. You debit spreaded it to the downside, and you made way more than I made. I made 52%. You made what?
I mean,
300?
yeah, like 300%. Like that was the crazy thing is I love debit spreads when I can get like 10 wide, especially if I have a good hunch that a big move's coming like you did. And when you come in and the options market's not pricing in the move, um,
Get an edge there.
you know, sometimes like Duolingo, the market's pricing in a big down move.
Mm-hmm.
But if you can come in here and you can like buy one of these debit spreads, if you're pretty certain that we're gonna drop, you get one for like $1 that pays 10, and then you could possibly get out for 3 or 4 or $5. You don't need the full 10.
You
You
don't
don't
need
have
to.
to be you don't have to be really, really right. You can just be right.
Yeah, your timing though has to be right. Whereas if you short a stock, you don't have to have timing down too much, but you really do with the option.
Yeah, I mean that's the flip side of it though, is like, you run out of time? Yeah. And that's why it's wise to play out a little bit. Now, the other caveat though on a debit spread is that if you go too much time, then it's not going to be as responsive. If you get too little time, you lose it all before your theory works out.
Yeah, you
So
need that
there,
second leg to work. It's got to really work well right in your time frame.
so I needed to turn around Tuesday to happen on Tuesday. That's why I didn't play Wednesday and I didn't play Monday. And it turns out the turnaround Tuesday worked. So, but I was still, like 30% sure that the options were telling me they were only like 30% certain to make money. And so you got to be careful when you play this stuff,
Yeah.
especially directional options. Jack and I are big proponents that directional options are not necessarily where the bag is,
No,
baby.
it's on the sell side. The directional option is great when you have a high conviction trade. Like when silver was at that peak, I didn't short silver. I did the debit spread back then. And because time was of the essence, it was like imminent that I get into this thing. The timing was exact. I mean, I had to get in now, and I knew it was going down now. Like Duolingo, gave it some time, but this, yeah, I did it right there, right
Yeah,
at the
that
101, 150 and 100. Yeah.
yeah, you did it a couple days early, but you knew it was going to drop.
Mm-hmm.
I think you did it on this candle, and
Yeah.
you were like, I'm holding, I'm holding, and then boom.
Hard to break short trade, man. I'll tell you, it's hard for me to throw in the towel on one. Really hard. I'll stay with that sucker, just being a stubborn Irishman. I covered this. I was shorted, I don't know, 97 or some change and 98. And then I bought it back recently just to get it off the books because, you got to have the capital. You get paid like if you sold the stock, the cash hits your account, but it's still on the books that you got to buy it back. You got to close it out. So I don't want all that money on the books like that. So, and they'll break this thing eventually. It'll be $4. It'll make Beyond Meat look like you know,
Make Beyond Meat look laughable.
where is Beyond Meat? I tell you, I'm not kidding you. I read a news release that they were going to let you drink it. I don't even know if they issued that product or not. Anybody know? That is the most disgusting thing. You don't have to eat your meat. That's not even drink your fake meat. They did. They were going to bottle it like orange juice.
Oh
Meat.
man, yeah, no, thank you.
I think I'd rather talk about freaking Krispy Kreme. Oh,
Let's
Drink
go back
your
to
like a little like a milk cartonish bottle, and it just put Beyond Meat. Like you just drink it. Like what do? You put it in a blender and mix it with a smoothie or something? Ugh.
How many of those could you fit in your mouth before you had to swallow?
Ugh. Those donuts? I don't know, man.
Yeah, those donuts.
I don't. I don't know. They look like they're filled with something, so probably not too many.
Beyond Meat.
Beyond Meat, man. I was looking at GME last night and AMC. Have you seen AMC recently? It's at 93 cents.
I think
Look
Beyond
at
Meat.
AMC.
yeah,
Oh my god.
same bubble pattern. Like, look, this is classic right here. Look at that. Shoots up, chops around a little bit, drops, chop a little bit, drops. I mean, this is
Beyond Meat and Krispy Kreme need to have a
Yep.
collaboration.
Beyond Meat and Krispy Kreme.
It fill the
Be
donut with meat juice.
so gross. That's so gross.
No, that sounds terrible. Oh, that's for astronauts.
Collab- a collaboration between Beyond Meat and Krispy Kreme. That
Oh
would work.
Lord.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, that
Oh my
would be
God.
crazy.
I ate lunch too. Oh man.
Jeffrey just ate lunch. Wait.
Oh man.
Oh man.
Smoke ribs donut.
All right, everybody. Jack, what do you got for us today?
I got the Tesla trade, man. We got a special running on this. I think the special is going to run out, but the timing of it couldn't be more perfect. as you said, Jeffrey, there's so many catalysts for hilarious for Tesla, being that they're going to move away from autos, they're going to move into autonomy, they're going to have everybody get a robot, and they're going to bring SpaceX public quicker than people thought. And I think one of the first moves SpaceX is going to make is going to take Tesla private, like you said. So we have a booming opportunity here with these Tesla payout. But I really think we need to get on it hard now because Tesla, as we know it, could be gone.
Yeah, it could. It's a very, very real risk. A lot of people have been sweating me on the TSLL stuff. It's not like this is just gonna like we're gonna wake up tomorrow and Tesla's gonna be private, everybody.
Oh,
There's gonna be shareholder votes and lawsuits and
yeah,
you know, regulatory reviews and you'll
everything.
have you'll have a long runway. This is not gonna be like SpaceX goes public on the 20th of April and then they're buying out Tesla before Memorial Day.
The
That's not
whole
what we're looking at.
the whole thing with Elon Musk and Tesla is when that pay package thing was tough sledding. I just don't think he wants to deal with board of directors anymore.
Well, that's the thing. Like I was bringing this up to somebody, I think it was this weekend. Somebody said, why are you so convinced that Tesla is going to get bought out by SpaceX? I was like, because a minority shareholder with 4 shares sued and got basically $1 billion pay package canceled.
And that drove him crazy.
Somebody with 4 shares. Think about that. Somebody with 4 shares
Yeah,
had the
and
power
take it away. Yeah.
to take it away.
And he's not the kind of guy that likes to give up power. He wants the control. And I just think that whole issue left a bad taste in his mouth for publicly held companies. And so the one he likes, they're just going to bundle it all up.
Yep.
And we'll see how this thing trades. I mean, it could be not a good IPO. A lot of these IPOs haven't been great, and this could be another one that just there's no way it can live up to the hype. I'll tell you though, the underwriters are going to have the biggest day they've ever had. They're going to, they're charging on the SpaceX public IPO. Goldman, Morgan Stanley, Bank of America, JP Morgan, they're going to make an absolute fortune. And
It's
there'll
like
be others trading it as well. So unbelievable retail trading coming up. It'll probably have options a day after it gets listed.
So come back tomorrow, everybody. We'll talk about Jack and I'll speculate through why SpaceX would go public, why they would take Tesla private. We'll just go through all the thesis here.
Whole
That'd be a
thing.
good one.
And they're going to have you can buy a home from Amazon that will work inside the moon because Musk wants everybody that lives on the moon to live in the moon, not on the surface of it, but actually in it. So his next move is these little cabins you could live inside the moon in if you want one of those.
Well, he's already building, he's got the boring company that can bore the tunnels.
And I
So
think
he's,
got that boxable thing, right? I think those are moon cabins,
yeah.
underground moon cabins or some shit. Anyway, watch out. A lot coming up with Tesla. And that dividend on T-Sizzle, that was something, huh?
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
like every time it pays, baby.
Oh, I love seeing that. All right, Blake, let them have it. They're going to love this. If you want to trade Tesla, have some exciting and some fun. And I'll tell you the other thing about these Tesla payout program trades. I don't have anything that targets $2,709 on a $5,000 investment. That's one of the biggest banks for the buck I got going. So you got that going for you if you like that.
That's right. All right. Here we go, folks. I couldn't have said it better. We're firing this off. Let them have it.
I really love this thing. Can everybody see this Tesla outlook for Q2 2026?
Yes, sir. We got you.
All right, thank you.
Yes,
I'm just
sir.
rolling right into it. So the profits and performance are not typical. We make no future earnings claims. You may lose money. The trades expressed are from historical back-tested data in order to demonstrate the potential of the system. And on live trades, however, the result is a 78% win rate from 4/5/23 through 2/20/26. The average return, winners and losers, 19.88% per trade, 6 days with an average winner 52%. Every trade targets, I love this, $2,709 in income based on a $5,000 starting stake. And every example is based on that same 5 grand, although you don't need that much. You could get started with 150. We cannot guarantee any specific future results as there's always a high degree of risk involved in trading. So see our terms on the homepage for more information. Now, let's be real, in trading, there will be losers. There is no black box miracle system that prints out winning trades automatically. And the whole purpose of my research and work with traders like you is to help give you an edge in the markets. If you can't handle a losing trade, then you really shouldn't be trading with real money. Again, losses in trading have occurred and will occur in the future. Now, we got a series of events are set to hit Tesla over the next 90 days. And from where we stand, these events could move the stock meaningfully higher in this next quarter. And I know that sounds unbelievable considering it's down already 17% and has been the biggest dog in the market. But as you'll see, these events cause a momentum buildup in Tesla stock, triggering an upside move. And that's why we're here, that I want to talk about this. And over the next few minutes, I'm going to share my Q2 outlook for Tesla, as well as the 3 events that could greatly impact the stock in the coming weeks. But before we get there, I want to show you this special trick I'll be using to trade Tesla as each event unfolds. And no, it's not a matter of guessing on the next investment super cycle or betting on a risky earnings play. Instead, as long as you deploy a certain type of trade on Tesla before the end of the week, you got a shot at making 2,709 clams in a matter of days. Yeah, we've done this quite a bit, and that's the average profit, but that's not even the best part. Unlike most methods, you don't need to even know when to exit this trade. And for a lazy type trader like myself, I really love the fact that you don't need to know when to exit. You don't need to stare at the charts. You don't need to click at any extra buttons. No stress with this. Once the trade is activated, sit back and let it do its work automatically. Let it cook. Now here's one from example from October. Let's say you started with 5 grand. That's the amount I'll be talking about, but you don't need that much. Now back then, the market was more uncertain than it had been in years. Stock and economic fears were exploding, and most of the investing community was fretting a recession or returning inflation in the elections. However, folks following along with the all-new Tesla payout program could have tuned out all that noise and on the 24th of October, taken about 2 minutes to place the trade on Tesla the way I do, and come back just 4 days later to see 2,600 automatically deposited into your account. Then the next week, hit a few buttons to set the next income position and watch as it blew past the goal, 5,434 Tesla payout. And as long as we get to place this trade over and over again, as long as we get the green light, that's key, each week, like the very next one on November 7th, we got another 2,600 Tesla payout. Then again on the 14th, another 3,043 Tesla payout. Now that's extra cash that could have gone toward the groceries, the mortgage, or even the savings account, all from clicking a few buttons each week and watching as the position automatically closed out days later. Now, of course, I want to remind you, not every trade will be a winner. In fact, losers are part of the game too. So never over leverage yourself with too much on the line, as that would be a recipe for disaster. Now, luckily, these Tesla payouts have been hitting with a 78% accuracy rate on the live trades, and that's like winning 4 out of every 5 weeks. Even during some of Tesla's worst drawdowns like we saw last year and this year. Now, with odds like that, though, it'd be very difficult to blow up an account, even if Tesla stock doesn't go up. Now, you might be a Tesla bull or you might be a Tesla bear, but as you'll see, I really don't care if the share price goes to 1,000 over the next few years or all the way down to 10, because there's something very unusual about the way Tesla trades. And you cannot replicate the success of these trades on any other popular stocks. Not Apple, not Amazon, not Nvidia. None of them lend way to this unique phenomenon. So if you're looking for a new way to trade, one that simplifies your approach and is designed to amplify the results, then look no further. Because in the next few minutes, I'm going to walk you through how the Tesla payouts work. The basic trade we place every week, plus a special filter for only validating the most promising payouts with an 80% plus historical accuracy. But not just that. I'll even invite you to trade the next Tesla payout opportunity right away, targeting another 2,709 payday this coming week. Now, if you would ask me 5 years ago, I'd tell you that something like this could never exist and definitely not at the win rate it's currently showing. But thanks to some shocking data my team and I stumbled across in Tesla's options chain, it's not only possible, but we get these opportunities week after week with a basic income trade as long as we get the green light. Now, I already showed you what you would have seen in October and early November, but let's take a close look at what would have seen the following week. Now, remember in November, people were more uncertain than ever before, and there was a record amount of fear as the number of put option buyers exploded. Now, of course, none of that really mattered when it comes to the Tesla payouts because you could have tuned out all that noise and simply placed a quick trade week after week, all month long. Tuesday the 21st, set the trade and let it go to work for you. Following week, place another trade, another 2,812 Tesla payout, cash money in your account. Now, as I'll show you, as long as the position is activated before the end of the week, you don't really need to know when to even exit. We just set the same Tesla payout trade up time and time again, like the very next week, Thursday, December 5th, and only a few days later, we're automatically closed out with 2462. Now think about that. For the last few years, we've seen some of the hardest working Americans get punched in the face by inflation, forcing retirees to head back to work, many to pick up second jobs, and savings drop to record lows. Now, I don't know about you, but I think some of us thought by now we'd be on the other side of the chaos. However, here we are, 2026. Things are worse than anybody could have imagined. As a matter of fact, credit card balances are at record highs and more people are behind on their car payments than ever before. So it's safe to say that it's practically impossible to keep up with the ever rising cost of living anymore. But between those last three Tesla payouts alone, that could have been an extra 7,883 hitting the bank for anybody following along. And it would have hit your account automatically. Now, an extra 7,000 in the bank might sound massive to some people. For others, it might not even be something you would notice. But either way, it's a needle moving amount of cash, especially considering that would have come in the door in under a month's time and with minimal effort, all from taking the same trade on the same stock over and over again. Now, while I would never promise any future gains, given the 78% hit rate on the live trades, I'm really confident in every one of these trades. And what makes these Tesla payouts really special is we don't need the broad market to finish higher for the week to get paid. We don't even need Tesla to finish higher to hit our payday, just like what would have come next in December. And remember, inflation was ramping back up, and the Fed was completely changing their course on rate cuts, causing the S&P 500, the NASDAQ, and the Dow to take one of their worst tumbles of the year. Now, again, let's imagine 5K invested. Well, folks in the S&P 500 would have lost 175. Anybody trading the standard calls would have been out the full 5 grand. Now, you could have frantically tried to keep up with the fear and greed headlines like a lot of folks do, or you could have blocked out all that noise and simply set your Tesla payout trade before the end of the week. Then maybe hit the cabin for a quiet weekend, unplug from the busy world with your friends and family. And sure enough, Tesla paid out nicely, another 2,500 this time in Tesla payout. Then the next week, same story. December 19th, you take 2 minutes to place the trade on Tesla, and maybe this time it's a few days helicopter skiing up in Blue River, Canada. And frankly, you could have been doing whatever it is you enjoy the most. And once again, booked another great win, even while Tesla shares dropped. Now that's another 5 grand in payouts over 2 weeks, all while the markets were getting pummeled. And that last one would have automatically closed out on December 24th. That's Christmas Eve. I mean, imagine taking the grandkids out shopping with an extra 5,000 in hand. And that extra cash isn't even including the 7 other winners folks would have hit in the weeks leading up to that. And the data shows some incredible possibilities with these Tesla payouts, but you all know, like any strategy, there's bound to be winners and losers along the way. And to be extra transparent, there was one loser over that 3-month stretch. But anybody who stuck with it, which is what you should do, and invested, say, 2,500 without any compounding, would have scored 12,031 in Tesla payouts, and that includes the loss. Somebody twice as confident, starting with 5K, they could have cashed in with 24,062 in Tesla payouts. And as long as the trade was placed before the end of the week, you could have completely ignored the media, tuned out the herd, and instead spent time actually living life, doing what you want to do. And if everything worked out, watch as the initial investment automatically closed out for a great win. In this case, we're talking about north of 20 grand in just a few weeks. That would have been no different than pocketing right around 8,000 in Tesla payouts per month. Now, I know that's not overnight type of money. That's not retire overnight, and that's not what we're talking about today, but that would have been enough to double the monthly income for the average person. And folks could have done it without breaking a sweat or spending extra hours in the cubicle, giving everybody a little more freedom in their day-to-day life and a little less stress. No complicated planning, no boring stock reports, no burning the midnight oil. Now, you see, when it comes to these Tesla payouts, I'm not talking about buying on a pullback or spotting a momentum breakout on Tesla stock or really trying to time up any big directional move at all. You see, these repeatable $2,709 opportunities are all thanks to a unique way to hijack a little known feature hidden within Tesla's options chain. You see, there's something special about these Tesla options is that they're frequently the most traded options in the entire world, even when Tesla stock is not the most frequently traded stock. The options are. Not only does that give us amazing liquidity, allowing us to enter the position with ease, but more importantly, the implied volatility is sky high. In other words, since Tesla stock routinely makes such large daily moves, the premiums on the options are much juicier than what we could get from Apple, Amazon, or Nvidia. And it's these extra large premiums that make today's opportunity all possible. Now, typically when I hear the word volatility, I run away as fast as possible, and that's because I'm not a risk taker. However, thanks to the brand new data that my team and I worked tirelessly on, for the first time ever, we're now able to target these excessive premiums on Tesla options with extremely high accuracy, handing us 5 to 10 times the typical income method payouts around 80% of the time. And that includes when Tesla stock was taking a tumble, which is great news for anybody concerned about the economy or where the stock market sits right now. For example, let's take a look at what happened in May. On May 2nd, we got the go-ahead to place a quick trade, but this time over the next few days, Tesla stock dropped north of 7%. Now, most folks would have been freaked out and likely lost their entire investment. However, with my way of trading these Tesla payouts, the position would have automatically closed out with a $2,500 Tesla payout. Same story in March. Enter the trade, Tesla shares fell nearly 10%. And again, most traders would have seen their options get totally wiped out, but with my way of trading, it didn't matter one bit that Tesla stock was falling. We still got a $2,500 payout. Now, generating these large premiums while Tesla is moving higher, that makes sense to most people, but having the same type of outcome even when Tesla is falling, well, that part is unheard of. Now, you might be wondering, Jack, are you shorting Tesla stock, maybe buying puts, hoping it moves lower? Nope. You see, these Tesla payouts have nothing to do with betting on the stock to fall. They're not naked options. We always know our maximum risk before placing a single trade, and it's not like we're going for a measly 5 to 7% return here either, where 5K invested will only pay around 300. You see, with these Tesla payouts, 5,000 invested, that returns roughly 2,709 on each of the winners. That's 10 times better than traditional income methods, and here's why. Now take a look at this candlestick chart of Tesla. Does that look like a stock you'd want to own? I mean, probably not. But what if I told you this chart action was actually a hidden gold mine on Tesla? You see, I'm deploying a very unique set of options that don't rely on big bullish moves where the stock needs to finish higher. All I need for my trade to pay out is a move of around 1 to 2% or more at any point within the next week and a half. Meaning Tesla can go up, down, or nowhere over that 2 week period, but as long as it makes around a 1 to 2% jump at any point during that time period, the broker should automatically cash us out for a win and deposit the winnings into the account, 2,709 Tesla payout. That's the average win. Now, let me say that again. Doesn't matter how ugly a chart looks or if you've ever even glanced at the chart at all. As long as we get that 1 to 2% move at any point during our 10-day period, our broker should automatically cash us out and pay us right around 2,709 in extra income, even if the stock drops. And get this, because Tesla is such a volatile stock, it's not unusual for it to make a 1 to 2% move in a day or two, meaning we're oftentimes paid and out of the trade in only a few days, sidestepping a lot of market risk. And that's how people could have won 4 out of every 5 trades. A prime example of this is what would have happened in January. Had you taken 2 minutes to set the trade, you would have watched as we hit the target the very next day and had a $2,500 payday automatically posted into your account, even as the stock eventually sold off. And then there's our trade on August 15th, same story, click a few buttons, and while most folks were getting frustrated, watching the market chop around all over the place, anybody using this method could have collected another handsome payday only 4 days later. Now, once the trade is set, there's no use staring at the charts, watching it all day or worrying about it. And that's actually how a lot of people really cripple their accounts, by overthinking their trades and making rash decisions out of fear. Now, I like to set the Tesla payout, set the trade up, then throw my phone in a drawer and go catch some fish or spend some time with the grandkids or take the motorcycles out for a spin or try out some new cigars. Because once I'm in the position, I let it do the work for me, knowing that it's all worked out about 81% of the time. And that includes during some of Tesla's best years and some of Tesla's worst years too. We just keep swinging the bat, knowing that as long as Tesla makes that 1 to 2% move during our holding period, we should be golden. Now, here's what folks would have seen in September 5th, anybody that set the trade, knowing that all we needed was a small move at any point in the next week to hit our target. And sure enough, even with a scare early on, Tesla did just that. And folks would have been automatically cashed out, even if you were in the middle of taking an afternoon nap. And then the following week, Thursday, September 12th, you could have set the trade, left it under the pillow, and a few days later, Tesla smashed through the target and paid out $2,500. Now, again, I really don't care where Tesla stock ends up in the long haul. It doesn't matter if it's at 1,000 or trading below 100. When my system gives me the green light, which it does around 2 to 3 times per month, I can set the trade and forget it. And that's because Tesla's price fluctuates so much on a regular basis that it gives us a really great chance to hit that profit target during our 10-day window, even if shares end up tumbling after we hit the automated target. Now, here's the very next trade for you, Thursday, September 19th, same story, click a few buttons, and anybody following along would have watched as we hit the target just days later and jump for joy as 2,500 was automatically posted into your account, even as the stock eventually sold off. And of course, it works when the stock goes up, like I've shown you dozens of times, and it works when the stock goes down. But obviously, you can't go blindly pick any options out there. I mean, if that was the case, everybody would be doing it by now, and I actually don't trade it every week. We only do this trade when the opportunity is primed with high odds. You see, my Tesla payout program is designed to only give us entries based on a setup that's historically paid 81.2% of the time. Typically, there's about 2 to 3 opportunities each month, or in other words, around 30 per year. Each one targets right around $2,709 on average in about a week's time. You just have to know which trades to place, which is why I'm going to walk you through everything you need to know to make your first Tesla payout right away. So everybody here can start using this brand new method to help target some extra income this week. Because it doesn't matter who you are, where you live, if you're young or old, everyone is welcome to get started today. You see, I put together a step-by-step report to walk you through exactly how to set up your first trade with a few clicks of the mouse. And inside the alert, it'll include the full details with the exact option criteria to how the automated target works, so you can start using this technique in your account right away. And once you get your hands on it, you'll be shocked at how clear-cut it really is. You'll be able to start using it each and every week if you want to. And let me assure you one more time, this has nothing to do with naked options, and it's not an expensive straddle or combo either. As a matter of fact, you could have set up each and every one of these Tesla payouts that I've shown you today with as little as $250. So if you're starting out small, that's perfect. And after placing one or two of these trades, it'll become second nature. Just like the trade we did on June 6th. After just hitting a few buttons, you could have the trade locked and loaded, and that's really all there is to it. Set the trade, then walked away and collected Tesla income hands-free, as the broker would have clocked you out automatically a few days later. Then you could do it the next week. Just place the trade, let it go to work for you, 2,857 Tesla payout. And of course, any regular brokerage account will work, Schwab, E-Trade, any of them. And if you have an approved 401k or IRA, that'll work too. And if you want to see just how powerful these Tesla payouts are with your own eyes, I'd like to invite you to jump in on the next Tesla payout with us, where this week we're going to target an extra 2,709 as soon as this coming week. And I'm going to give you the exact options criteria, entry, exit, automated targets too, all dialed up on a silver platter. That way you can follow along. If you'd like to, watch over my shoulder, copy and paste the trade in a matter of minutes, and today you can claim this special briefing and the newest trades just by subscribing to the all-new Tesla Payout Program. Now, this service is solely dedicated to targeting extra income, thanks to my new way of hijacking specific options on Tesla for what could be huge profits without knowing when to exit. And I'm happy to report that after analyzing over 100 opportunities, the final study shows the Tesla Payout Program is small account friendly, $2,709 automated target on every trade based on a $5,000 investment with an 81.25% success rate. And the live trades have been red hot too. We had 17 winners right here in the past year with a 78% win rate. That's like 4 out of every 5. And in just a minute, I'm going to show you how powerful this can be, whether you've been investing for years or just getting started. Now, if you take one of the limited memberships today, then every single week it triggers, I'm going to give you my very best Tesla payout income opportunity, one that I would personally recommend for myself, my closest friends and family, each one based on a target of $2,709 on average every week. And I'll be holding nothing back. In each Tesla Pad alert, I'll break it all down for you step by step, the ticker, where to place the trade, the options criteria, entry, exit, it's all in there. And each income alert will have clear instructions on how to place each trade. I'll do all the heavy lifting to find each income opportunity for you. You'll just read the alert and follow along if you choose. Just like what would have come next, after the back-to-back winners I just showed you in June, this one on June 20th, I would have sent the members the trade alert right to their inbox, and anybody who took the trade could have clocked out and worked on the short game, hit the lake with some friends, and days later noticed an extra $2,500 sitting in the brokerage account. And don't feel like you need to be sitting next to the computer all day long. I'm going to post a trade each Thursday around 2 p.m. That way you have plenty of time to get in before the end of the week. And I want your experience with the Tesla Payout Program to be as hands-free as possible. So alongside the email alerts, I'll also be including cell phone and telegram alerts. So while you're out and about, you can always take advantage. Just like the trade we had on June 27th, you would have gotten an email. Take the trade if you choose, and sure enough, you would have gotten a $2,800 pocketed automatically with another Tesla payout. Now I'm going to keep track of the performance for you so you can easily see how good your results look compared to the S&P 500. But before we talk price, I want to highlight maybe one of the biggest benefits of being a member of the Tesla Payout Program. You see, there's something that I haven't been able to cover yet today, and it takes the Tesla Payout Program to a whole new level. And like I hinted at earlier, these opportunities are specifically designed to only activate after a very, very specific set of market signals occur on Tesla. And according to the study, that's been able to take the win rate from around 65%, which is great, all the way up to a whopping 81.25% accuracy. And in order to gain an edge that strong, I don't simply deploy these trades whenever I feel like it. We only do it when we get the green light, because after extensive research and testing, my team and I developed a system to only isolate the most optimal weeks for entry. So if we don't get the green light, we don't have a trade. We don't force this every week. This is designed to keep us on the sidelines and out of the ruts when the odds don't stack up, and allows us to only put our money to work when we have a high conviction in the opportunity. Now, the details and formula is too much to give away. I wouldn't give it away for free, but if you take one of the limited memberships to the Tesla Payout Program, I'm going to give you the inside scoop. The full details on all the data that's shown the power to keep the win rate so high over the last few years. And I'm showing you this, and I'm sure with an edge that this can give you, I could easily charge $2,000 or more for the full strategy guide. But for the new members, I'm going to give it to you for free, and you can apply it to some other favorite stocks. And remember, actually taking these trades is no harder than shooting a layup. All you need is a standard brokerage account, an internet connection, a few minutes to set the trade before the end of the week, and you don't need a big account. The average entry is only $1.25 per contract. That's roughly $125 to get started. And you're going to get customer support live. If you have any questions about any of it, I'm going to give you a free pass to our daily customer support live trade room, where my top team members are live every day from 10 to 1 to answer any of your questions. So if you ask me, $5,000 per year is way too cheap. You see, after analyzing all the data, I have to admit I'm blown away by the results from these Tesla payouts. In fact, when you account for all the trades, the live trades, the winning weeks and the losing weeks together, anybody starting out with just $5,000 would be averaging right around $28,827 per year in extra income. Now, let me say that again. After trading through all types of market conditions, good economies and bad ones, anybody starting out with just $5,000 in each trade would be averaging right around $29,000 per year in extra income. And that's without any kind of compounding, which would have taken it up to about $86,000. Now, when you compare the average annual income to the S&P 500, it's not even close. $540 per year with the S&P 500 versus $28,827 per year with the Tesla Payout Program, it's not even close. So yeah, I think $5,000 would be way too cheap. But I don't want you to feel like you're overcoming an obstacle when you join today. So here's what I'm going to do. Bonus one. I want to reward everyone who takes action today. The ones who see an opportunity and don't hesitate. And that's why for the first new members in the door, instead of charging $5,000, I'm going to set the price at $2,709 for your first year. That's the average winning Tesla payout we've seen from the data. That way, today's new members have a very legitimate shot at covering the membership with the very first trade. And that brings me to your second bonus. Now, if you're one of the first in the door today, which is what I want you to do, I'm going to double your savings and cut the already great price by 50%. That's going to take it all the way down to only $13.54 today. That's it. After today, it's up to my team whether we increase it or let a few more folks join. And if that's not good enough for you, I have one final bonus. Now, like I mentioned, I want this membership to feel like it doesn't cost you a dime. And as a matter of fact, I want you to have it completely paid off before the second trade alert even goes out, knowing that every dollar you make after that initial investment is just gravy on top. So bonus 3, the Tesla Payout Program Full Ride Scholarship. Once we get the green light to enter, I'll take you through all the details of the newest Tesla payout alert, the entry, exit, options, everything I believe you need to succeed. And it'll be the same type of trade from the study that's shown the power to pay out 2,709 on each of the winners. And if we're on the winning side again, which we probably will be, that would be enough to cover the membership fee 2 times over. Now, you know I can never promise future returns or protect against losses, but here's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to start your subscription timer until the model portfolio shows at least a $2,709 profit, meaning your subscription won't start ticking until the membership is 200% paid off according to the live trade tracker first. But I have to warn you, this is a limited time special, so when we drop the link, get ready to click it. And if you're ready to put the Tesla payouts to work for you, then click the link in the chat or go to jackcartertrading.com/Tesla or have your credit card ready and give us a call, 904-706-3534. Join now before the next trade drops this week on Thursday. If we get the green light, we're going to fire that trade out, so get on board now. And once you take one of the limited membership spots today and you click the button to submit your order, then you'll automatically be taken to another page that would ask you if you'd like to upgrade to lifetime access. And that's the deal everybody wants. So go ahead and take the lifetime deal. I highly recommend you take that upgrade. That means no pesky renewal fees ever again. No maintenance fees. You get legacy access. You can pass the membership off to a friend or family member at any time for no extra fee. And you get immediate access to all future upgrades to the Tesla payout program in the future and an unlimited amount of Tesla payout alerts for years and years to come. And you won't be asked to pay $4,000 to upgrade to lifetime like I've charged in the past. This time, you can upgrade for less than the cost of 1-year access, which means everybody in the room should definitely take the no-brainer lifetime upgrade. But first, you have to take one of the spots in the Tesla payout program today to get started, then upgrade to lifetime after you lock in your membership. And remember, I want this membership to feel like you're joining for free. That's why I included the Tesla payout program full ride scholarship. So if we get the green light to enter this week on Thursday, I'll take you through all the details of the newest Tesla payout alert, the entry, exit, options, everything I believe you need to succeed. And it'll be the same type of trade from the study that's shown the power to pay out 2,709 on each of the winners. And if we're on the winning side again, which we probably will be, that'd be good enough to cover the membership fee 2 times over. Now, you can know I can never promise future returns or protect against losses, but here's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to start your timer on your subscription until the model portfolio shows at least a $2,709 profit. That's twice what it costs to get the program, meaning your subscription won't start ticking until the membership fee is 200% paid off according to the live trade tracker first. But I have to warn you, this is a limited time special, and I can only guarantee this for the people in the room right now. Get the limited time deal, then upgrade to lifetime. Go to jackcartertrading.com/Tesla, click the link in the chat. And I can't wait to send folks their first Tesla payout alert with all the detailed criteria, no guesswork on your end. Now we're going to open up the chat and answer all the questions here in a minute, but first let me highlight 2 more bonuses. Now obviously to get these big juicy payouts, we have to use options. And options are a great way to leverage your return when you have a very strong conviction underlying strategy like we do here. Now I know that not everybody is totally familiar with options, and that's okay. I'm going to walk you through everything you need to know to get started in the options guide. This is a $495 value. And let me assure you, this is a simple option strategy, nothing crazy. Now, of course, it's not going to be $495 extra to get this, not even $250. I'm going to give you this getting started with options as a free gift when you join today. And before I forget, earlier I mentioned that the new members will get the full strategy guide with nothing held back. Well, inside this easy to read report, I outline how you can apply the same strategy onto other fast moving tickers for great results. So once you lock in your membership, I highly recommend going and getting your hands on this report. It'll show you how to target huge payouts on other stocks as well. That way you have a shot at growing your account at an even faster clip than originally expected. And both of these bonuses are included for free for the first folks who take action today. Now, before we open up the chat to answer, let me cover a few of the common questions. Like number one, how much money is needed? You can get started with $125. Is this day trading? No, it's not. Now, we're always entering on Thursday afternoon with up to a week and a half of holding time, but sometimes the trades are so good that they automatically close out the next day, but that does not count against you with the day trading rules. Question three, should I be worried about more downside in this market this year? Well, that's the beauty of this system is we don't need the market to go roaring higher. We don't even need Tesla to be going higher. All we need is that normal move, 1 to 2% in Tesla stock, which happens about 4 out of every 5 times. And our broker should automatically cash us out. In fact, some of the best trades actually happened when Tesla was heading lower. Like what happened in May 2nd, placed the trade, and over the next few days, Tesla stock dropped north of 7%. However, with my way of trading these Tesla payouts, the position would have automatically closed out with a $2,500 Tesla payout. Same story in March. Enter the trade March 30th. Tesla shares fell nearly 10%, but with our way of trading, it didn't matter one bit. We still got a $2,500 Tesla payout. Question 4, can I trade this in any regular brokerage account? Yes, you can. If you're just using a normal account, any regular broker will work. Question 5, what is the next Tesla payout trade? Well, I'm only answering that with today's new members. Question 6, will every trade be a winner? Of course not. No strategy wins 100% of the time. But according to the tracker so far, these Tesla payouts have been extremely profitable for folks who stick to the system. And I'm not just saying that. Total profit at $86,482. Now, how do we close this trade? Well, with the automated exit, you don't have to do anything to exit the trade. I'm going to teach you how to do it step by step. You can watch me do it in the members area, and then you just let it do the work for you. So is there any sort of guarantee with this? Well, yes, there is. Since this is a premium offering and it requires a ton of work on my end, I'm offering folks a 14-day money-back guarantee, meaning in your first 2 weeks, if you're not thrilled, you can cancel. But my goal is to have you cover the membership fee as fast as possible. That's why I included the Tesla Payout Program Full Ride Scholarship to legitimately give you a chance to join for free in essence once we get a few trades on the board. Question 9, are there any other methods you're going to teach us? Yes, there are. You'll see how you can replicate this strategy on other stocks. Question 10, do I have to be glued to the computer? No, you don't. Both the entry and exit are extremely easy to manage. The entries come between 2 and 3 p.m. on Thursday with plenty of time to enter before the markets close for that day, and the exits are automated. Once the trade comes out on Thursday, you could take about 2 minutes to place the trade from your laptop, a cell phone, and then you're done. Question 11, will it cost $4,000 to join like we have in the past? Not yet. Right now, you can get in for just $13.54 for the first year. Question 12, is there a lifetime option? Yes, once you click the button, you'll get automatically redirected to the next page where you can upgrade to lifetime for pennies on the dollar, and I recommend everybody take that. Question 13, what are the 3 major events that could impact Tesla in Q2? Well, there's a lot of them. There's actually more than this. One is earnings. I would say the second one is the shift away from cars and into full automation and robots. And then the third one would be the SpaceX IPO, which is going to be huge. And the fourth one would be the Cybercab mass production. The fifth one would be robotics, mass production of robotics. And then the sixth one would be SpaceX taking Tesla private sometime this year or early next year. So what's your outlook for Tesla in Q2? Well, it's down 20%. Despite its highs, a solid outcome from these events could trigger a bullish move. I'm expecting one of the biggest bullish moves we see in 2026 all come from Tesla. So here's everything you get: 3 to 4 alerts, automatic exits, program strategy guide, getting started with options, Tesla payout detailed option criteria, customer service live every weekday, charter member discount, Tesla payout full ride scholarship, and so much more. Okay, what kind of questions do you have for me?
I opened the chat up, Jack, so we'll see if anybody has any questions. Opened it back up there. Left the DMs open the whole time.
Yeah,
Well, I guess go ahead.
Yeah, I use Schwab. It's no problem.
Yeah, they were asking about the best broker. Schwab's good. I think they said they already used Schwab though. They're asking for like specifically spreads. What's going on? Says
Cash
the link.
flow. Wrong link.
Nope, that is the right link.
The one you gave them is the CFA. That's the
Oh, that is the wrong link. Holy cow. Why in the heck did I put that one in there? Oh, that is my fault.
No problem, Bubby.
Let me fix that right now. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I like this one. Tesla's getting hot. It's going to get ready to start popping. We've had great results with this. The way this strategy is constructed, the way this trade is constructed is just amazing. Yeah, go to
Nope,
jackcarter.com,
that's not it either. Hold on.
jackcartertrading.com
Yes.
/
There it is.
There you go.
There it is. I'm so sorry. I can't believe I did that.
You know, what's cool is you guys are on with us during the show. You know, we're targeting 40% ROI per year. With this, we're looking at over 50% per trade, which closes out in like 8 to 10 days, if not sooner. So if you like some real big hits in a very short period of time on a real fun type trade, this is the one you want.
Yes, sir. And now the link is good. So if you guys click that link in the chat, it'll take you to the Tesla payout program, or hopefully you just called and you're like, something's not right here. I want the Tesla payout plan. So now the Tesla payout program, when is the next trade out for that, Jack? Is that this week?
Yes, that's this week. If we get the green light on Thursday, between 2 and 3, we'll put the trade out to everybody. But we got to get that green light or we don't do it, because we had the win rate at 65% and we got the win rate up to over 80%. And it was all happened when we put the green light technology in, a little more algorithm. And that keeps us on the sidelines and out of the ruts when it's not going to work. But usually 3 to 4, we get 3 to 4 a month, no problem. And that'll come out on Thursday. You'll have all day, an hour or two on Thursday and all day Friday to put the trade on. And then we set the exit right at the time. We get in, really cool. I got the video. You can watch me do the trade. I like to do these myself. Put my money where my mouth is, and it's a fun trade because I don't have anything really that hits hard on the ROI side like this. Like I say, we're going for 40% a year with my other stuff. This, doing 50%, 52% in a week with a $2,709 average payout. That's big. That's what
That
you
is big.
start stacking and packing, baby. Get the Tesla payout program and let the market work for you.
That's right. Absolutely. And these are debit spreads, right? Debit spreads on Tesla?
Debit spreads, yep. Little tiny
Nice.
one from 100 and some bucks to all the way up to 5 grand or more, unlimited.
Okay. So super affordable there for lots of folks.
Yeah.
And I'm just trying to think of any other questions I want to ask you. Criteria. Is there sometimes where we won't take a trade?
Yeah, we won't take a trade. We won't take a trade if we don't get the green light. So that green light is a real, real big deal. Like I say, the strategy before we added the green light was at 65% winners. And when we added the green light, then it really boosted it up over 80%. So that was a big deal. But that by adding that green light also mean we were not going to guarantee to have a trade every week. And I like that because you don't want to try to always force a trade using the same strategy. You don't want that. You only want to do it when it's primed with high odds. And that's what that green light gives us. There's a little technical stuff to it. I'll explain to you, but uh, uh, it really has made it super powerful. So if we don't have a trade, it's because we don't have good odds. Otherwise, we're going to have it.
Absolutely.
Have I had any losing trades back to back? None that I know of. I would have to look at the trade tracker, but I don't think so. I wouldn't worry about that too much back to back. This is the most success people have had with this, and really with any of my programs, is you got to stick with the system. If you like what
Hmm.
you heard today, if you like what you heard today, and you like the parameters of this trade, how much you put in versus how much you could get out and the time frame, if you like all that, this is something you need to stick with the system. The people that have quit, even after one trade, right when we rolled this out, I'll give you an example. I don't want to name names. The guy could be in here today, but he took a trade. His first trade didn't work out. He said the loss was too big, which that's not the case. The loss is only too big if you're trading with money you can't afford to lose, which was his case. So he took one loss and he quit. And God's honest truth, this system went on a 17 win streak right after he quit.
Oh, goodness.
Which is why I say, you got to be, if you're going to step in a boxing ring, you got to be able to handle a bloody nose. So we're not
Absolutely.
boxing here, but you got to be able to, take a little bit of a punch here. Only to
Hmm.
afford to lose. But if you stick to the system, that's when everything starts to unfold and really pay you off because you learn even with the losses. And really what we're doing here is trying to learn, and perfect it. So you're going to get losses with any strategy. But if you had losing trades back to back with a strategy that you have an audited win rate, and just so you guys know, everything you see that comes from all of us here is audited by a third party. Okay,
That's
this is
right.
some stuff we cook up in our mom's basement. It's real stuff. I mean, and most of us put our own money on the line, like with these trades. Uh,
Yep.
so, don't flip out if you have a loss. Don't flip out if you have a back-to-back loss. Keep your position size correct and stay with the system because that's where the real money is. And we've
That's
all
exactly right.
the stats speak for themselves. The stats are the facts.
Yep.
So, uh, yeah,
And I was looking through the trade tracker for you, Jack, and I just wanted to point. So it's a 78% over almost a 3 year long back test. And
I
that's
know.
not back testing, that's live trades.
These are really, yeah.
So, yeah,
And the guy, I got to tell you something crazy. I don't know if I should tell you or not, but before we launched this to the public, myself and a couple other guys in here were trading the hell out of this thing just to make sure it was good, and it was good.
oh,
Then
yeah,
we did it first. We were the guinea pigs, and then there's two other guys you probably know in the company that did it with me. Just crazy. Just we were the guinea pigs, and it worked. And it didn't, the 17 win streak was not possible for the people that checked out after one loss.
hmm, that's
Give
exactly right.
this is the way I frame it. If you like what you saw and you like the potential returns and you like the way the trade is, you don't have to sit in front of the computer. You can get started with less than $200. If you like everything you heard, go with it and stay with it. And
That's right.
let it give you the success you deserve. Let this thing work for you. Let it cook, baby.
Let
Oh,
it cook. I
I got
couldn't have
to
said it
go.
any better.
Yeah. All right, Daddy. Talk to you soon.
All right, Jack. We'll see you tomorrow. All right, guys. Jack's out of here. So I just want to kind of reiterate there what Jack went over, and I'll take the screen back from you, Jack, so you can make your exodus. I appreciate you leaving that up there for me. I'll take that screen. You're good to go. So you wanting to know, potential merger with SpaceX, XAI. I can't predict the future, but I can tell you that if something like that were to happen, then the effects would be monumental for a stock like Tesla. You would see a max winner if we had a trade out that week that some news like that dropped. Um, that's just it. I mean, our order would get filled. If we had a resting good till cancel order, it would get filled instantly. That would be a crazy news event for Tesla. So I don't think it would really change our strategy because news doesn't affect the market as much as people think it does, especially if you have a strategy. I've seen it firsthand where markets have pulled back to my levels, and I call them Blake levels, and they've pulled back to my levels. And at the time they pulled back to that level, Trump came out and said something, and the market went up, 100 points in a second. So I don't really believe that news affects the strategy that much, right? And these are debit spreads on Tesla, so it's not like you're naked. You're risk defined, and that's it. You're risk defined. At the end of the day, and hopefully you guys, I fixed the link on the screen, so you're good to go. The link up top takes you to the Tesla payout program. That's my fault. We did the cash flow agent like every day last week, so I think my brain was just on autopilot. And I threw the cash flow agent link in there. So I do apologize about that, but we got that fixed. Now you can always call the number, which I hope some of you did. If you were having an issue purchasing, you just called and said, "Hey, this link's not working. Take me to the cash flow agent." They'd be like, "Oh, we got you." We have a great customer service team, great support staff. And just so you guys know too, with this, you're going to get email alerts. You're going to get access to the trade tracker, historical results, which I'd look through that are live trade results. So that's something to keep in mind. Those aren't just like, a super long back test that we did with perfect entries and exits. They're like actual live trade results. So any questions for me at all relating to this? If no other questions, I do have to run. I got to go get ready to do a stream for Graham. Okay. Well, folks, the link's in the chat. Invest in yourself. Get it now. I'll leave the link up there for a minute, the corrected link, just because I know I goofed on that. So thanks, guys, so much, and have a good one. Bye, Rory. Have a good one. We'll see you guys on the profit panel here in just about 1 hour. Stick around if you want to hear from Alex Reed and Jeff Smith and learn how they're kind of trading this market, whether they're buying or selling the SPY today. And we'll talk soon. Thanks, folks. Have a good one. Bye-bye. All right, well, I just closed that one up. I'll just pop back on here. You can see my little overlay. That is myself. Do you guys have any questions, comments, concerns for me about anything at all that I can clarify for you at this time? I'm going to get the room set up for the profit panel here very shortly. That's on in about 1 hour. So if you stick around, you don't even have to go anywhere. You can stay right here in this room if you're interested in that. Do not have to go anywhere. Stay right where you are. It is the last day of the month. Okay. Does not look like there are any questions from what I can tell. I had the link open for a while. So seems like you guys are good to go. So we'll call it a day. All right, folks. Well, we'll see you right back here tomorrow. Jack and Jeffrey are going to break down the new if we see a SpaceX IPO, what that could do to the market. And we'll see you guys on the next one. Adios.